Okay, another thing that I like to do is to add another attribute I spelled this wrong. Attribute wrangle node at the end. Oops, I just double clicked into it again. And what I want to do is I want to multiply this body fur density with the paw pad mask. And I could have painted in the same, but it's nice to keep things separated so that I can do this. So I'm going to create a new attribute called body fur density, and I'm adding fix at the end. I like to add this so that I'm not overriding it and I'm not confused on what's happening. I'm going to add the body fur density and multiply this by at the paw pad mask. Cool. Now, what just happened? If I want to visualize this, I could say B at CD, which is basically just going to color the points. And I want to, at body fur density fix. And now I'm now viewing this so that we can see now that they're both added. Another thing that's really useful is doing it this way. I'm able to adjust the values with math. So maybe I don't want the fur to be exactly fully cut out, or say maybe I might invert this face mask later so that it's perfectly cutting out the body and not the face. And you can do that with a fit, which is basically like a range or almost like a levels. I'm just gonna fit, and the default for fit is 0, 1, 0, 1. Okay, and then if I were to set this to 1, 0, it's now inverted the paws. But in this case, sorry. So what just happened? So I set this to 0, and just by bringing it up a bit, I can extend the mask out or make it crisper by crunching the values, or maybe I set the 0.5. Now the lowest value is 0.5. This is a nice way to keep things procedural without having to paint things over and over all the time. And I'm just going to add a final V at CD here because I don't want it to always show the black face in the viewport. So I'm just going to set this to 1. And now you don't see this anymore. Another way is if I want to view this again, I can just type these slashes here and that will disable that line of code. If I want to go back and forth between viewing what I'm doing. Okay, great. And finally, I like to cache out the body with all the fur masks painted on it, because this way, when I'm painting a mask, the scene isn't loading and trying to update the fur. It can be quite slow. So I'm going to add a ROP alembic output. And going to name this, I usually save this in the hip caches folder. I'm going to name this body mask tutorial. version 1, and just make sure you write .abc. Even though it says abc here, it doesn't automatically put it in the file name. So I'm just going to click save to disk. I only want to render the current frame. That looks good. And then I'm going to add a switch node. Although this isn't, oh, no, never mind. Okay. A limbic and an unpack node. So I'm just going to copy this path, paste here. And now if I view this unpack, you'll see there's a path. I want to transfer all the attributes of all the paint maps and everything. So I'm just going to do the star, switch, and I'm going to set it to always load this alembic. So every time I paint my mask and update it, I'm then going to save this. I usually just overwrite it or version up occasionally and then update this to load the latest. And that way my scene is a lot faster. Okay.